I made a travel show in 2015. I've been making money off of it ever since. Not life-changing money, but trickling in royalties from multiple platforms for more than a decade. That was the plan. Today, I'm walking you through how I did it and one decision I made that I'd warn any creator to really think hard about before saying yes. Hi friends, we're rewatching my very first travel show. I self-produced it from start to finish 10 years ago, and I got a distribution deal to put it on Amazon Prime Video, but I never put it here on YouTube, so that's what we're doing now. Welcome to the rewatch. Okay, now we're cooking with Crisco. Let's talk about the platform, Amazon Prime Video. In episode 1, I did break down and explain that this was an opportunity that came to me. When they were launching, they asked me if I had any content that I could submit to the platform. And then I was off to making this show beyond the usual. Okay, so with that offer in hand, I already understood the concept of syndication. Mind you, by the time I started this, I had been in the broadcast industry for more than 10 years. So I wasn't necessarily a rookie for that part. I kind of understood some basics for broadcast TV. So I went hunting and I had a few other streaming platform offers for the show. 3 to be exact, and I took them all in. Some of them have faded away, but some new ones have been added. And I also knew the importance of never giving away exclusive rights to any production I made. Any. I'm not exactly sure when and where and how I learned that, but friends, I knew it. And that's the single biggest thing I want creators to hear today. If you only take one thing from this video, take this one. Never sign exclusive rights to anyone unless they're paying you enough to never need that content again. And I really mean it, because I've been able to reuse content from my archives over and over again because I own the rights. Exclusivity is the most valuable thing you own. And if you're a creator, you're creating that. And once it's gone, it's gone. The deal might feel huge in the moment because the brand or platform is huge. It's something that you've been dreaming of, but your show only makes money in places where it can live. So if you've been locked into one place, then you're locked into that show. And if people stop watching that network or something changes, you're still locked. You get it? You're not just locked, you're locked out of every other place forever. So I was able to syndicate my show. That was amazing. And after about a year, I was receiving royalties from different platforms trickling in. The work was done. The plan I thought of was mastered. Now, to be fair, these royalties are not making me rich, but it is exciting because the system I envisioned actually worked to make evergreen content good enough for broadcast and then let them syndicate. Like a book, when it's done, it lives forever. If you write it good, then you can make good money forever. The other thing I had was one of the distributors offered me to have my own streaming channel. Now, back in the day, this was all the rage. And in my mind, I was like, why not? But once I had it, I realized how daunting this really was. With a channel, you need to feed the beast. You need to always be giving it content. And I couldn't keep up. I also didn't want to keep up. Like, that's a whole different business. That's a whole different job. I wanted to create content. I wanted to tell stories. I didn't want to be a programmer. Also, you have to market it. Even though being on that distributor's platform had a natural foot traffic coming to it, they did a good job with that. But having your own channel meant that I needed a content library. I needed a program schedule. I needed fresh content cycles and strategy. Yeah, like I just said, it's a business side project that I didn't want. And reality check, it's true even now. If you're thinking about building out a streaming channel or a fast channel or OTT channel, you're going to compete with YouTube, and nobody, not even Netflix, is competing with YouTube. YouTube is the winner. YouTube is where people go. YouTube is where your audience is. So how are you going to get those people to that channel when YouTube is the place where everyone goes? So heed this warning if you're considering launching your own OTT or fast channel. If you thought about it, if you're really into this business model, I'm not here to discourage you for that. But if you're just thinking about it because you think it might be a place to elevate or expand your content, just consider everything I just told you. Because you're going to need licensing relationships with other content. You're going to need a programming calendar. You're going to need ongoing operational work, probably employees to help you with that. That has nothing to do with creating content on your own. It's a separate business model. And I'm not that sure that it's paying off for people that I know doing it. Okay, so the better strategy, and this is something that I learned early on in my production company, is to use other people's audiences. Get your show on other platforms. And now we're really sharing some secrets. Our production company, Dream Network Media, has helped creators distribute their shows beyond YouTube. These are the shows that are so well produced that they deserve to be on some broadcast and streaming networks. And we've cracked the code over the past 10 years to know how to do that. In fact, if you have a documentary, short, or feature length film, show, or series that you filmed really well, broadcast quality, you can syndicate this, be on YouTube if you have the content, or you're working on a series or a documentary or a full season. So check the description for the link to this resource. It's called How to Syndicate Your Show for Free. It's truly our secret sauce to how we get our content and others on real platforms that pay you for completed content, not those pay to play ones that are out there that you probably see on your Facebook feed as advertisement. And this is a resource that we built brick by brick over the past 10 years. We're giving you a chance to filter through the clutter. It's a straightforward blueprint to syndicating your project with real links and real guidance. And here's how big this market actually is now. Fast channel revenue is projected to hit $12 billion by 2027, up from $8 billion in 2023. There are now over 1,500 fast channels live globally, with another 14% growth in 2025 alone. That sounds like opportunity. We don't need y'all to build another one. Try to get on those platforms, because what we're actually seeing is that those 1,500 channels are competing for eyeballs. The market got crowded. The thing that was hard to do, or a big champion to do, in 2015 is exponentially harder now. The math is actually in your favor to be picked up by one of these streaming channels. And again, we have the keys to show you how. Let me be honest about what trickling in actually looks like. We're not talking about life-changing money, like I said, for an indie producer with one show. We're talking about checks that show up a few months after the platform pays out, something like $50, sometimes $200, sometimes a couple thousand, depending on how the season performed. Multiply that though across 3 different platforms, and now we're kind of building something. Now the show is actually paying off, right? And compound that over a few years, and now it feels like success. So this is not replacement income. If you accumulate a lot of content, then it could be, but this is work that's already paid for, and now you're making it work for you again. It just keeps on earning. If you did the investment up front, well done, because you can make that keep earning for you forever. Here's a piece of math that surprised me. Standard broadcast time slots are 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And when you produce a show, think about your runtime across those terms. A 22-minute episode fits in 30 minutes with commercials. A 47-minute episode fits within 60 minutes. Now, here on YouTube, it can be whatever you need to make the story work. But if you are thinking that, hey, I'm producing these things, they look really good, it could be on TV, why not make it the time that you can actually syndicate and make it easier to syndicate, not harder? Because if it doesn't fit in those standard broadcast slots, then likely you're not going to get picked up. This is the kind of thing that nobody tells you until you're trying to license your show, and then the distributor says, hey, we love this, but the runtime is off. Plan for distribution while you're still in production. Your edit decisions in week 1 of your show affect every dollar your show can make in year 10. The first few years of royalty income are small. You will get a check for maybe $40 and then laugh. And then you may get a check 1 month for $200 and still feel like you wasted your time. But 2 years in, those checks compound. 5 years in, you stop being surprised by the income. 10 years in, if you had just been putting it away into a savings, well, look at that. There's some thousands in there. There's some extra zeros behind. That's the math. And it's worth doing it because you're creating the content anyway. Okay, friends, that's all for now. Next video, we're heading into season 2. I hope you'll join me.